Please. The show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Medication time.
Hey, it's the tattooed madman Psycho Mike, welcoming you to this edition of my twisted world of Masters of Mayhem right here. And you never know what you're going to find here when I'm on the air. So on that note, I want you to sit back, rip the top off a cold one, roll up a fatty, and enjoy this edition of Psycho Mike's twisted world of Masters of Mayhem. Yeah.
But I just gotta know one thing. Are you ready? No! I said, are you ready?
Thrust off from floor! And you're watching Psycho Mike kicking ass!
Big Gang the Mighty from 4, and you're watching Psycho Mike kicking ass on
Well, I'm sitting here jamming with the Kiss from your bandits! And you're watching Psycho Mike kicking ass on Masters of Mayhem! Masters of Mayhem are in the house! The Masters of Mayhem! That's right! Any way you look at it, we're down with you, because you're down with the clowns!
No, and forever.
This is Violent J, the Insane Clown
That's
Posse!
too dope, and when we're in Cleveland, that's all we watch, brother. We check out the Masters of Mayhem.
That's right!
Of Mayhem.
Professional wrestling
So
at its
cool.
best!
It's big
Masters
time.
of Mayhem,
Masters of
brother!
Mayhem,
You
brother.
better recognize Masters of Mayhem and Violent J! Stranglemania style, brother!
Oh, yeah.
Telling you, it is your main maniac, the Ghoul, and we're all gonna watch Psycho Mike beat the cheese whiz out of each and every opponent on the Masters of Mayhem Wrestling. Hey!
How you doing?
Sherry, the one and only Sister Sherry Martel. Cleveland, Ohio, the Masters of Mayhem Wrestling, the only professional wrestling that has been here in the last 5 years, where you ought to go now. Bye!
We're going to go watch Masters of Mayhem Wrestling.
Masters of Mayhem
Where you ought to be.
Where you ought to be. You're watching Masters of Mayhem.
Everybody stay tuned. You never know who you're going to see on Masters of Mayhem or what you're going to hear on MMA.
Then alongside Sensational Summer. Cleveland, what's happening? It's the tattooed madman Psycho Mike along with Team Law's Cat. Stay tuned, Cleveland. Thank you.
This thing's...
What's happening, Cleveland? It's the tattooed madman Psycho Mike. Here along with Team Law's Bobcat.
We'll see that fight. Don't forget, you'll be seeing me down here in Cleveland in Madness Mayhem.
Cleveland! It's Tater! I'm
Mayhem wrestling. You can't beat it with a stick. You can't whip it with a switch. Don't even try. Give it right break it. Yeah!
Macho Man Randy Savage, and you are watching the Masters of Mayhem in Cleveland, Ohio. Oh, yeah, dig it.
hearing all the time. What? Hallelujah! Got a brand new dance! It's called a bird! Woo! The master! One break!
This is Orange Sheik. You are watching Master Maho Wrestling. Don't talk.
This is the Orange Sheik, Olympic champion, WWF champion, world champion, and you are watching Master of the Wrestling Maha. No, especially in the Cleveland, Ohio, people know Orange Sheik was a champion, and still I'm a champion, Olympic. My pleasure to come to the Cleveland, Ohio, to show all my wrestling fans. Orange Sheik was a champion, and still I'm champion. Look at me, Ya Allah. Now you know what I'm talking about. I'm the real champion. Cleveland, Ohio. My intelligent wrestling fans know about the Iron Sheik.
This is Axe Demolition, and you're watching the Masters of Mayhem Wrestling.
Go Mike, and you're watching Masters of Mayhem Wrestling.
This is Typhoon the Natural Disaster, and you're watching Masters of Mayhem Wrestling.
Hey, this is the tattooed madman Psycho Mike with some wrestling fans.
Hi, my name's Branya. We find girls like us watching
Masters of Mayhem Wrestling.
Whoa! G'day, mate! I'm Footsteps Cavalier. We're the Bushwhackers! Yeah! And when we're in Cleveland, we watch Masters of Mayhem. We never, ever take our eyes off the Masters of Mayhem. Love you, baby! Yay!
Just what do people think of Masters of Mayhem Wrestling after just one viewing?
I like it.
And so will you. Check out Masters of Mayhem Wrestling, Music, and Chaos.
Stinky fucker. Check out Psycho Mike's Twisted World of Masters of Mayhem Underground TV.
Oh!
Son of a bitch. Are we on?
Of course we are.
It's time!
I want you to sit back, rip the top off a cold one, roll up a fatty, and enjoy this edition of Psycho Mike's Twisted World of Masters of Mayhem
Underground TV.
Whee! All highlights. So, sit back, rip the top off the floor, and enjoy this week's edition of Masters of Mayhem Wrestling. Oh, and by the way, Happy New Year!
Up into the ring in just a moment or two for more exciting fucking action.
5 pounds, Rob Rechsteiner. And his opponent in the corners to my left, from Phoenix, Arizona, weighs in at 235 pounds, Tom Zenk. The referee is Wayne Brebner. Calling all the action is Ken Resnick and former heavyweight champion Nick Bockwinkel.
Certainly a very improved Tom Zenk, a fact, Nick Bockwinkel, that you can attest to.
Most people, when they watch a match, to them it can be very even. But unless you're in the ring, only you know. You can only, because you can sense, you can feel. You know what the man is doing right and what he's doing wrong, as likewise he can tell from your movements in the same manner. Rob Rechsteiner is greatly improved in the short period of time that he's turned professional. He's former Michigan amateur heavyweight champion and Big Ten champion, and just as powerful as he is, just picked him up and then started daydreaming. When he decided to want to talk to some fans and came out on the short end of the string almost.
A very expensive lesson, one that Rob Rechsteiner, one mistake he probably will not make again.
Well, nothing teaches you faster than making a fool of yourself.
The voice of experience.
Somebody else does it for you, that's one thing. When you do it to yourself, that's another thing. Powerful tackle by Tom Zenk.
Up over.
Oh, he didn't get him at all.
He didn't get him.
Boy, Rob Rechsteiner could see that drop kick coming, and he started backpedaling as fast as he could and got himself right out of there. He went right out under the bottom rope, and fortunately for him, because had he been just, it was amazing, and it goes to show you how fast some of these men are, how quick they can see and sense something.
No doubt about it. Now, one thing I noticed about Tom Zenk, again, I don't pretend to have the expertise in the wrestling strategy and tactical standpoint that you do, Nick, but Zenk seems to be much more aggressive in the ring. When he first came into wrestling, he had a lot of the basic moves and the knowledge, but he was a little tentative, a little cautious in the ring. That seems to have dissipated.
This is what happens when you take, excellent backdrop by Tom Zenk on Rick Steiner. The same thing of this lack of caution or going right after him, which Zenk is just demonstrating right now. That time he caught him. Yes, sirree.
Count of one, count of two. Rick Steiner able to kick him off at just the last instant.
Yes, as you said, Tom Zenk is far more aggressive now. This happens most of the time with rookies and a lot of the fellows who don't have the experience. They're timid because they're just not sure. A few times getting dropped on your head, and you all of a sudden do become sure. I think that Tom Zenk was going to try and get the airplane spin, and instead he wound up not being able to catch him. He's got him now. Now he's lost him.
Gary, you are very right. And now he drops him down. Looks like even there he slipped away.
Yes, he did. That might be enough.
Count of three. He got it. This Rick Steiner, Nick, at 265 pounds, is very stocky and in some ways kind of like a bowling pin. And he's tough to get much leverage on, as we could see. Zenk had him and he let him, he slid down, but Zenk alertly, the experience we talked about again, instead went right for it instead of being thrown by the problem.
Well, if we'll take a quick close look here. I mean, you can see what's...
Master of the DDT, Jake the Snake Roberts.
There goes the bell now to start the action here at the ringside in the Sam Houston Coliseum. And the gentleman in those characteristic long pants that he wears, and you can't call them anything except pants, they are sweatpants, is Jake the Snake Roberts. His opposition, Rick Steiner. Powerfully built young man who can look ahead to a long career in wrestling if he manages to get past the earlier matches. He has recently come into the game, but he is a man who learns rapidly and has the power with which to carry out the things that his brain tells him he should do. Twisting arm lock, and as he maneuvers around Jake the Snake, these fans come to life and they start screaming to referee Carl Fergie to tell him that the man pulled hair and used an illegal method of taking the snake down to the mat. Jake is ready. Jake wants to move in with that big fist of his, and as his t-shirt always says, he is cruel, but he's fair. And he figures if a man has been doing something illegal to him, he's going to repay him in kind. You saw it. He did it. And that Rick Steiner is the picture of a powerhouse, I'll tell you. He has a lot of utility in that muscular body of his, and he's trying to get the referee now to do something about the hair pulling, because it's happening to him. Jake is getting just a little bit hostile as he walks back and forth, literally. Listen, listen. DDT, and I want to tell you that has become a popular battle cry. As Rick Steiner moves outside that ring to gain a measure of protection, DDT was tempted to come over and plant his foot, but he didn't do it. Kicking a man when he isn't looking is cruel, but sometimes it's fair. Rick Steiner. Tough customer, and I want to tell you, a star to be in this game. When you come in with that advantage of having that much body and that much athletic ability, then you're going to go places. Jake the Snake has decided that maybe he's approaching this in the wrong manner, and that turning loose on Rob Rechsteiner might be the way that he can best do something about it. And Rechsteiner urges the referee to get Jake to open up those cruel but fair fists. Jake has caught on in a tremendous manner with these Houston fans. He is a man who has scored well with him. They like what he does in the ring, and they like what he does outside. Body slam, and a beauty. Here he goes for the DDT, that sudden drop into a face lock that literally annihilates his opponents. That is one of the most effective holds that I have seen in many years. Of course, front face lock has existed in wrestling for many years, but it's the manner in which Jake the Snake incorporates it into his general attack that really pays off. You hear it, you hear it. You see the struggle in there as they maneuver around in the ring, and it's Jake the Snake who came up the winner. He's the guy who got the best of that struggle. Here goes for the DDT, and look, I'll tell you, Rob Rechsteiner is acting like Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake has slithered around that ring and escaped a lot of punishment during his career. The 5-minute mark has gone by, and Rob Rechsteiner feels that maybe he could learn to do the same thing. But Jake isn't going anyplace now except at Rob, head on. You can hear that noise, that chant, the chant that follows him every place he goes. Jake now using the soft approach. This test of strength goes to Rechsteiner. Rechsteiner is able to get the pressure on those hands. He's able to bend the back. And now as Jake comes up, he looks for the opportunity to even it. But I tell you, pride is worth fighting for, but it can sure get you into trouble. Jake could find another way out of this, but he was trying to equal the pressure being put on by Rob Rechsteiner. Go, Jake, go. That's not exactly DDT, but when he gets in position for it, they'll give him the DDT chant. So we've got Rob Rechsteiner trying to put Jake the Snake down by sheer muscle. Ooh, he went for the open spot, the wide open space in there under those arms and against the ribs. Pressured down on that top rope, and you saw the snap of the rope. And as we have told you many times, the ropes are really cables covered with rubber. Now Jake's in trouble. He has caught some of the effectiveness of the combination of Rick Steiner's muscle, Rick Steiner's ability, and he is trying to recover from that so that he can move in on this man and take care of him. Jake into the ropes. He got a shoulder. The shoulder swung around and hit him. Offensive move by Rob Rechsteiner, and Jake's in trouble. Rabbit punch, and now he had to fight his way out from underneath with that hard bench press move. Reverse chin lock. Now the Jake go. There on Jake's side, and the go Jake go rings out here in the Sam Houston Coliseum. And as Jake moves up to one knee and 1 foot, he's halfway up there, but that's there it is. And Rick Steiner isn't sure, he's not certain that he can do it with strength, so he gets around for the illegal leverage, and sure did it that time. So Jake's caught. The snake is in a noose right now, and in a trap too. And as he starts to maneuver, Rick Steiner is able to shift that referee around almost at will as he goes from one side to the other. Is it a chokehold? Well, if that chin remains in the crook of the arm, it's not a chokehold. But if he lets that slip down and uses the forearm against the throat, it sure becomes a chokehold. And it only takes an inch or two of movement to do it. Jake goes for the standing arm lock, the Japanese arm lock. And again, he was jerked off his feet that time and taken down to the canvas, and Carl Fergie's arguing with Rick Steiner. The fans are snitching on Rick Steiner. They're telling the referee that he did pull the hair, but Rick Steiner knows the referee didn't actually see it and is hesitating about breaking it because he knows that he's supposed to see what happens. So Rick Steiner stays behind Jake. He leans in solidly and presses against the back of Jake's head, pushes that chin forward, and as Jake maneuvers around to get into a position, you see him fighting his way up. 10 minutes have gone by. 10 minutes, and Jake comes driving back with that elbow, found tender territory, out of the ring and off onto the floor right here alongside of us, almost in our lap. Jake the Snake. There's Rick Steiner outside the ropes and doing the clubbing, and smash. He smashed Jake the Snake into the ring post, and watch out, here's Jake the Snake. No! He crashed him down into the mat. Tremendous move. And this crowd just jumped up to its feet. Those people just let loose a roar. Look around at this crowd if you can. The people standing up there screaming, and the moment that head hit that canvas, they let out a roar, a much-deserved roar. Jake the Snake is a winner, and Jake the Snake used the DDT. You couldn't find happier fans any place than those here in the San.
Former professional wrestler Psycho Mike, now the author of 9 books. 2 no-holds-barred books about his wrestling career, 1 cookbook, 2 books of Psycho Mike muses, 2 coloring books, an autobiography, and 1 book about the wrestling he grew up watching as a kid, the NWF. All these titles are available on the website listed or at Amazon.com. The Twisted World of Psycho Mike is now in books. Check it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing from Detroit, Michigan, at 268 pounds, Rick Steiner.
That's the Motor City Badman, Rick Steiner. As I miss a Cowboy Bill Watts, I was in Detroit just a couple of weeks ago, visiting with the program director, Larry Ault of WXYZ, the general sales manager Grace Gilchrist, and Rick Steiner waiting on the arrival of the debuting Sam Houston.
And introducing from Waco, Texas, at 218 pounds, Sam Houston. This match, one fall of television time remaining.
Some exciting events coming up in the Universal Wrestling Federation back in Kansas City, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Chicago, Illinois, Minneapolis, the historic Kiel Auditorium in St. Louis. UWF action coming soon. There's the sound of the bell. Debuting Sam Houston. Former Pro Wrestling Rookie of the Year, a 21-year-old young man with a tremendous career ahead of him, as is Rick Steiner. And I think what you're seeing right here are two of the finest young athletes in professional wrestling. Both men coming from very different backgrounds. And Steiner and Sam Houston showing a little bit of amazement. But as they say, you ain't seen nothing yet. This man doesn't know how strong he is. Sam Houston with a kip up. He's certainly not intimidated, as so many would be. I said Steiner said he's the toughest man ever to come out of Detroit. He may get his chance to prove that. We'll be in Detroit in the next few weeks. We'll be telling you about that, along with several other great events that you've already heard about in the hour. Hope that you will join us for live UWF action wherever it may be. There's just nothing like seeing it in person. Steiner showing his strength using one arm. I've seen him, he's just in the weight room do some things that unless you see it, it's just hard to believe how strong he is. But Sam Houston with a great fighting heart, an outstanding young man with a lot of agility. And Sam Houston with a drop kick. And quick to his feet. As I mentioned, Sam Houston, 21 years of age, an outstanding competitor. Many of the fans around the country have followed his career, and it has been a sparkling one, especially in the past 12 months. And he's here in the toughest area of all, and a cheap shot by Rick Steiner as a referee. Carl Fergie went between the two men, and now Steiner back to the power moves, and that's just about as blatant and as powerful as you can get. First the fists, and now the kicks. We have 1:30 of airtime remaining in this hour of Universal Wrestling Federation action. Next week, a new UWF Top 10, and we will have a statement from Iceman King Parsons. And there's a great power slam by Rick Steiner. But Steiner did not grapevine that leg, and I think he has realized he made a tactical error there. Houston reaching down and kicking out. That may have been a fatal mistake for Steiner. He should have grapevine the leg there. Sam Houston now trying to get Steiner off balance, and there's a bulldog headlock. Sam Houston caught Steiner with a bulldog headlock, and there's a pinfall. Now that's the way you debut in pro wrestling in the UWF. What a great victory for young Sam Houston. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, right here next week, the new UWF Top 10 ratings will have a statement from Iceman King Parsons. We'll hear some more comments about the penalty box match, and we'll be talking about some tremendous events.
Dog-faced gremlin, Rick Steiner. Oh.
And here he is, our champion. And here he is, the dog-faced gremlin himself, Rick Steiner. This guy has a list of accolades as long as my arm. Locks up in the corner.
I think you probably could have just left it a few too many times, Brad. By now. What?
Oh, right in the magnificent. Oh, big wind-up right hand. Punch right to the forehead with patented right hands. Oh, look at this. Used to be Ohio State shirt.
Maverick.
Yep, drives an elbow in there.
Oh!
Wow, look at the mark he left on the table there. Oh, this is the ring bell.
Oh, magnificent, Todd. Yeah, man.
Oh, Steiner line.
The suplexes.
A variety of
four-leg lock.
Oh! Chest, and goes right to the throat. The thumb right to the eye. Stops him from an European uppercut.
This will teach Larry Zbyszko to meddle where he's not wanted, to make matches he has no business, no reason, no right
Sits
to
him up
make.
on the shoulders. What's he going to do here? Electric chair suplex. Slips him into the ropes. Back elbow. I may be calling for the figure four magnificent lock. And tough guys in his career. I don't think he's faced anyone as tough as Maverick. But look at that, a Steiner line. Another Steiner line. What's he got here? Exploder suplex.
There we go.
Ready for the charge.
The big equalizer for
Pushes him into the ropes, misses a clothesline. Goes up. Look at this. Takes him over in a power slam.
Somebody, no, this is not right. I believe that was a miss from the top rope.
Wait a minute. Here comes Jimmy the Hype showering.
Bart Mendez has called for the bell.
And Jamie D now in the ring. Frankie the Face.
By disqualification, Don.
Look at this, a 4-on-1. Wait a minute.
Rick Steiner.
Double Steiner line.
No, not Jamie D, no.
It takes down Maverick. Hey, here comes Johnny Legend.
And Spider, what are they doing out here?
Thought they'd even the odds a little bit there.
Rick Steiner won the match. Okay, he won the match. But he won it by disqualification. Illegal means were employed in the match.
There's no need to fear.
Psycho Mike
is here.
Well, I'll tell you what. They just don't get any more psycho than Psycho Mike. That boy ain't right.
It's the tattooed madman Psycho Mike, and this has been my twisted world of Masters of Mayhem. Part-time crazy, 100% psycho. Thank you very much for joining me. See you on the next episode of Psycho Mike's Twisted World of Masters of Mayhem. So, stay sick, turn blue, scratch glass, climb walls, but most importantly, do it while you can. Don't get caught, and stay fucking crazy. Huh? It's the tattooed madman Psycho Mike. And if you don't want to get locked in a mental ward with me, you'll click like and hit subscribe now.
Oh yeah, I want you to stay sick, turn blue, scratch glass, climb walls, but most importantly, do what you can, don't get caught. And stay fucking crazy.